we rejoin the 1987 1/10th Off-Road World Championships with the Concourse, sponsored by Radio Race Car Magazine.
I don't know what to tell you. You guys outvoted.
So I think it's not so difficult. I mean, when we almost chose this one as number one. You have it as number one, I have it as number one, you have it as number two. Yeah. So there's a clear number one. And then, what did you have as number two choice? The green one. That's the same for me.
And I had that as number one, so. This was tough for me, because the tits.
Yeah.
The judges here are from the left, Bern Mobus, Gil Lursey Sr. and Mike Reedy. Many of the drivers have taken a lot of time to turn out some grand pieces of art. Some may say too good to race. With so many superbly finished cars, the judges' task is a difficult one.
There is no... In our races, you have to run the car.
There is no IFMAR concourse, so never had
We decided this car, the Swedish car, to be the number one, this car to be the number two, and this car to be the number three.
Right, you can call the drivers forward, they can collect the prize.
Yes, okay. Congratulations.
The winning car is a Schumacher Cat, painted by Fredrik Matheson from Sweden, with just a little help from his dad.
Well, preparation is well underway for the 1987 four-wheel drive 1/10th Off-Road World Championships. A maximum capacity crowd by early morning in what looked as though it could be a very hot midsummer's day. Unusual for British weather to be so kind. Practice is well underway and it looks as though we're in for some more exciting racing in the finals later.
This is Christian Sturr of CS in Germany. Christian, could you tell us about your new electronic developments and about the car you're racing here this weekend?
Yes, I'm racing the Schumacher Cat. It's a very good car and I'm the importer for Germany and Austria. And I'm using also equipment of my own, maybe the charger, cells and speed controllers are the main things I produce by my own. And speed controllers are MOSFET, of course, and especially only BOZ11 MOSFETs, the best one available. And my cats are the red ones, the SCRs. They are a little different to the British ones. They have only a red shrink tube and no printing on it. That's depending to the German importer. And the next one I use is the CS charger. It charges with 4 amps constant and has a peak facility and also overcharge facility. After the peak we can charge time longer.
Thanks a lot. I see you're using double back tires on your Cat. Is that working well or is it just an experiment?
I'm now experimenting it at the moment because I had problems with the car. Now the next testing I will drive it.
Yeah, this is Gil Lursey Sr. here, who is owner of the Ranch Pit Shop in California. Gil's son, Gil Jr. is a current world champion, which we'll see on Saturday whether or not he retains his title as world champion. Gil, you're running the new Yokomo car here. Can you tell us all about it? This is a totally new car, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brand new. It's a belt drive car to the front and the rear. Has no gearbox at all, so it's very, very simple. Very easy car to maintain. Everything lifts out the top, so you don't have to take the car totally apart to make any changes. You know, it's another feature of the car that has self-bleeding shocks. You put oil in the shocks, just push on the shaft, and they're ready to put on the car. You don't have to spend a lot of time bleeding the shocks and getting them set. The car is just The one thing we really like about the car, the four-wheel drive cars up to now have been very, very complicated. And a lot of people, you know, get tired of having to do a lot of work on them because it's so difficult. This car is very, very simple to work on. So it's just an easier car to run. The car is, has adjustable width. It has, you can run a single one-way, 3 one-ways, 2 one-ways. So it's very adaptable to track conditions. We've just run them maybe a half an hour total on one car before we came here. So we do have some tuning to do, but I think they'll be very competitive at this race.
Thank you, Gil. So you're obviously looking for great success. I see this is using the Ranch Pit 64 pitch gears.
Well, we run the 32 pitch Team Losi gears, but if we need a half pinion change, you know, for the gearing we want, then we go to the 64 pitch.
Yeah, I heard a rumor that you're going to be making a gear in between the 64 and the 32. Is this right?
Yeah, the biggest problem with the 64 is if you have very dirty conditions, it's difficult. So we are going to make one a 48 pitch. That's the way our two-wheel drive gearboxes are. They're all 48 pitch.
So here you could be getting the best of both worlds.
That's right. You know, for 12 scale, you're going to run 64 pitch or on a very, very clean track and off-road. If they start to get a little bit dirtier, then you can go to the in-between pitch, the 48 pitch.
I see that you're all using Novak speed controllers. How do you find those?
Well, we think they're excellent, or else we wouldn't be running them.
I noticed that you're running four cells one side, 2 on the other. Perhaps you could tell us why this is, Gil.
Well, this track has mostly right-hand turns, and so we weighted the car slightly a little bit more to the right. And that's the only reason. We thought it would help us get around the corners a little faster.
This is the latest state-of-the-art with the four-wheel drive Kyosho. Joel, tell us about this new car.
Well, it's a belt drive car. It has ball differentials front and rear. Instead of the belt driving the whole system, there are gears in the gearbox with pulleys for the belt. Other than that, it basically uses the stock Optima arms, but has new gearboxes, and I've made this one into a pan chassis for saddle packs.
And how do you reckon it's going to perform on the track here?
So far, it looks pretty good in practice, so we'll wait for the heats and see how it stacks up against everybody else.
Yeah, Eustace Moore here, the top man of MIP. That's Moore's Ideal Products.
Hello.
Tell us a bit about your latest car here, Eustace.
This is the second edition of the four-wheel drive system for the RC10. This is not a production system. It's chain drive, as you can see. It has precision ground and manufactured U-joints in the front end, ball bearings in the carriers, plastic injection molded spindles and carriers. Front transmission has a ball bearing differential with options for one-ways either in the front wheels or in the rear transmission. The rear transmission is a lot like our two-wheel drive transmission with the exception of the middle gear, which has a longer shaft for the sprocket to adapt. It allows you to use the 64 pitch or the standard type gears, and of course you can set the car up with saddle packs, regular pack, long pack, it doesn't matter. And allows your standard two-wheel drive steering throw for maximum steering around the corners. And it's a very free system. As you can see, it coasts very well, even with maximum steering and straight also.
So you can dial this sort of car into pretty well any type of track or driver?
Oh, definitely. Whatever you can do with your standard two-wheel drive RC10, you can do with a four-wheel drive RC10.
1/10 four-wheel drive car driven by Nakamura here. Interesting gearbox, which is MIP gearbox, running through helicopter bevel gears down the shaft drive to the front end, which is another modified MIP, that's Moore's Ideal Products gearbox, more helicopter bevel gears for the front wheel drive. Using Team Losi 64 DP gears here. The motor is their own development, and in fact this motor got into the A main in the two-wheel drive. We're using KO Propo speed controller and radio here. The Truff chassis, which we can just see, has 2 stick cells, long wires of batteries, and of course is carbon fiber reinforced. Most of the suspension here is Kyosho, which have been putting in a very strong showing at this meeting. So we have basically a pure hybrid here with a number of very highly developed systems. Yes, Jamie Booth is the highest placed British driver here, driving the Schumacher Cat, powered by Mike Reeder's motors. Mike and Jamie, perhaps you'd like to tell us a little bit about the motors and the car.
Well, Jamie's running a car that's built here in England. It's four-wheel drive, and seems to be the car to beat out here. They've placed quite a few of them in the main event. Top qualifier, Jamie, the third fastest qualifier. They're all running this particular car, the Schumacher. Jamie uses my motors, really modifieds, and for this event, it's really quite surprising. The track is very easy on motors, and we're able to put a lot more horsepower in than I thought we would be able to run. We're basically running motors that are designed strictly for ovals. On a higher traction track, we would have gone down to less power because we wouldn't have been able to get the duration. We've been lucky enough this race to be able to have too much power in certain points to where we could draw back, make sure we have plenty of battery life by putting a little bit milder motor in, but still having plenty of power.
You've been running some fairly radical motors in Jamie's car. Can you tell us a bit about those?
Jamie will be running a 15-turn motor, which is very radical. It's not used very often at home in the United States, except on the high-speed oval tracks. We very seldom ever use it on a road course. At one point in time, we also had a 13-turn motor in, which it turns upwards of 30,000 RPM running free, which is quite drastic for this size car. But it was a little bit of a handful to drive, and we did not actually race that more than one heat because it could actually go faster with a little bit slower motor.
Right. Jamie, how's the car handling for you?
Oh, it seems to be going pretty good, actually. Most of the Schumacher cars seem to be going really well. I think the main competition's from the Kyosho team. Their new car they've just brought out seems to be going good.
Let's have a look under the body of your car, Jamie, and you can tell us how you've set it up.
That's it. It's basically standard kit. Basically standard kit car with associated rear shock absorbers on it, really.
Using 64 pitch gears on the back, I see, and CS cells.
Yeah. The 64 pitch gears seem to run quieter than 32 DP gears, so that's why I run them.
And quietness means less efficiency loss.
Yeah, I also hate driving a car that's noisy.
So the car's handling very well for you with Mike's motor and the other kit that we can see in the car.
Yeah, the motors are fine, great.
So you're in the finals and all in for a chance. I was driving a very unusual hybrid four-wheel drive car featuring many carbon fiber components. Bob, tell us a little bit about the car. It's very interesting.
Okay, the car is basically a oval Landgraf car that I've modified with more suspension. It's got the Landgraf front end arms and pillow blocks, and it's got an associated RC10 rear end on it to get myself more suspension travel. But the rest of the car, other than a different shaped chassis, is basically a Landgraf car with the Optima chain drive system. Yeah.
This is the new Mugen car from Japan, four-wheel drive, of course. Perhaps you could tell us a little bit about the car, the technology.
Okay, the future of this car. All right. One of the, important thing is that these dampers, all right, shock absorbers. You can find out the numbers here, which tells you how to adjust the softness or hardness. Then you can adjust depend upon the track. 3 differential gears, and those differential gears we assemble before,
Are these ball-type differentials or gears?
Gears.
And is it a belt or a chain drive?
A belt drive.
So it features a main plastic spine here with the batteries being housed in a stick going through these are gears here. Okay, now we see the main gear train in here going from the main motor gear through the idler up to the drive gear, which then goes back through to the belts. Features an aluminium under tray here, servos mounted here. What sort of speed control are you using? Electronic KO speed controller. We're seeing a lot of the KO controllers here. Thank you very much. And this is Ernie Provetti here, who's Mr. Trinity of Trinity Motors. His motors were certainly in the winning car yesterday on the Kyosho Optima. Perhaps, Ernie, you can tell us something about your latest monster horsepower motor here.
Well, it's a new design motor. It's a one-piece steel can, which gives us a lot more bottom-end torque and a lot more run time. And it's different from our motors last year. We no longer have the Le Mans tooling. It's a different tooling and seems to be a lot more efficient. And we're getting a tremendous amount more torque and efficiency. We ran it in the Optima, and we're running the same motor with just a little torqueer wind for four-wheel drive. It seems to be working quite well.
So you should be a very happy man after Wednesday's results.
I'm a pretty happy man right now.
And things are looking pretty good, I expect, for the four-wheel drive.
Yeah, we've just tried we have a prototype mid-engine Optima, and the car is working very well. We've run it 2 charges, seems to be very stable and very free. The belts are very free, allowing us to run a little longer on duration. So we're pretty happy and pretty optimistic.
Right, let me introduce you again to the drivers for the main A final. On pole position. From Japan, finished 8th in the two-wheel drive World Championship, Masami Hirosaka. In second place on the grid, the reigning two-wheel drive off-road World Champion from America, Joel Johnson. In third place on the grid, the former two-wheel drive World Champion from America, Jay Halsay. Three minutes. In fourth place on the grid, placed second here on Wednesday in the World Two-Wheel Drive Championship from Japan, Katsunori Kondo. In fifth place on the grid, placed fifth in the two-wheel drive championship, the 1987 British national champion, Jamie Boo. In sixth place from America, Lett. In seventh place on the grid, the 1986 double British champion, Stevens. Two minutes, drivers, 2 minutes. In eighth place on the grid, from Japan, Shinichi Koma. In ninth place on the grid, from America, Eric Soderquist. Placed fourth in the two-wheel drive championships here at Romsey on Wednesday. From America, 10th place, Mike Christensen.
The A final saw some amazing line techniques being employed. Ernie Alvetti, Mr. Trinity himself, was using a small 12-volt battery in charge to keep Joel Johnson's batteries topped up well until the very last second.
40 seconds.
Good job. They said they won't do it electrics.
Away they go, clean start. So, challenging in the first turn then, Masami Hirosaka from Japan, car right, goes on to car two. 4 goes through, Katsunori Kondo of Japan. So these three streaming out then, backwards.
Already into the second lap. Condition of this circuit is very, very good in the weeks racing. It hasn't broken down at all.
The leader out on the Masami Hirosaka of Japan, the black car, number 1, with Joel Johnson in second place. Masami Hirosaka makes a small mistake. Masami Hirosaka leads another mistake. Joel Johnson cannot find a way past car number 2.
Everyone driving very cleanly at the moment.
Masami Hirosaka straight to those first. Cannot find a way through. And spin there. Katsunori Kondo spin. Number of cars stream past him. Lett moving out in third place now. Oh, and runs into the back of Masami Hirosaka and is delayed.
Eric Soda Crest, old cruising mayhem there. They're easing off driving through cars. Little mistakes like this can cost drivers a lot of time.
Masami Hirosaka of Japan. Masami Hirosaka, top qualifier. Look at that, there we go. Unbelievable stuff. Car never really seems to be totally out of control. Always on the ragged edge. But no, it's still Masami Hirosaka with Lett spinning and Jamie Booth now Tally C. Jamie Booth of British Tally C for second place. Lett of America. They come up the jump now for the drivers.
Well, that little knock letting Jamie through into second place. Relieving Cliff Lett of the position.
Cliff Lett drops way back now. Still the leader, Masami Hirosaka with 5 seconds to go. Finishing now.
At the end of the first round, car number 1, driven by Masami Hirosaka of Japan, took in a 17-lap round, and it looks as though he's going to be difficult to beat. The start of round 2 saw Jamie Booth, car number 5, in trouble, but soon to pull back from 6th place after the first bend. The order is Hirosaka, Lett, Kondo, Booth, and Jamie Booth passing Kondo on the inside to go into 3rd place behind Cliff Lett, car number 6, in 2nd place.
Masami driving to the limit. He's very lucky. Will his luck hold?
British fan, let's try. It's Schumacher Cat follows Schumacher Cat follows Schumacher Cat. The Cats 1, 2 and 3.
Didn't think it would. It's got caught there. Allowing Jamie Booth and Cliff Lett through.
Masami Hirosaka just too close to that turn. And Cliff Lett America lead. Cliff Lett America lead. Jamie Booth with second place. Closing on Cliff Lett. Masami Hirosaka of Japan in 3rd place. Cliff Lett leads.
Jamie's catching Cliff very fast.
A silly mistake from Cliff Lett enables Jamie Booth to go through. It's anybody's race at this stage. Jamie Booth making a little mistake there and letting Hirosaka from Japan through. Not for long, he soon gets it back. Jamie Booth pulling away now. Hirosaka and Lett in that order. With a bit of a tangle there, enables Jamie to pull right away. Round 3, and again a bad start around bend right. A nasty knock takes Jamie Booth of Great Britain across country, getting plenty of grip from his 4-wheel drive cat. Joel Johnson driving a mid-engined Optima, trying very hard to make it the double, but not quite being able to catch Masami Hirosaka. The order remained the same for the rest of the race, with Kondo in the lead, Lett, Hirosaka and Jamie Booth battling extra 2nd, 3rd and 4th places. Congratulations for Masami Hirosaka, whilst the disappointed Mike Christensen driving the RC10 shows Eustace Moore where the kingpin should be.
In 3rd position, from Great Britain, Jamie Booth. From Japan, Katsunori Kondo. The winner of the 1987 IFMAR 110 4-wheel drive off-road world championship. From Japan, Masami Hirosaka.
Well, I have with me now Cecil Schumacher, who's the manufacturing designer of the winning car in the 4-wheel drive class. and also the very young Japanese driver who has won this prestigious title.
My name is Masami Hirosaka.
And how old are you?
17 years old.
So that's a pretty good achievement for a 17-year-old. Could you tell us how long perhaps, this is the team manager, he's been driving in Japan?
10. About 10 years.
You've been driving these cars for 10 years?
Oh, yeah.
So if we can go back to Cecil Schumacher, perhaps you'd like to tell us, Cecil, when you started to design this car and how you feel about the success.
Well, I'm very, very pleased, Tony, obviously. It's been a long, long battle. We started about 2 years ago, and the car has been in production for just about a year now. And this is a most delightful result for us after a lot of hard work. In fact, this year we've taken, I think, every international event that's been held. We won the European Championships back in Austria 2 months ago, and now this, I'm really absolutely delighted. Masami Hirosaka, he's an incredible driver, and it's in no small way due to his talents.
Well, listening to comments around the track as you were driving the car, I think everybody is in no doubt that you're a very worthy and excellent driver for this title. Thank you very much.